Fox News Alert and the Transportation Department says the state of California broke the law by giving a commercial driver's license to a migrant accused of causing a freeway crash, killing 3 people. A new report claims California upgraded the driver's license 6 days before the accident, ignoring a federal order to comply with new restrictions banning illegal aliens from operating big rig trucks. Let's bring in Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, thanks for taking the time with us this afternoon. It's good to see you. You contend that this person, Jashanpreet Singh, should have never been behind the wheel of this truck.
That's right. So we did a nationwide audit, John, that showed that a lot of the states were issuing foreigners commercial driver's licenses, and they're doing it illegally. So at the end of September, we said no more, stop all foreigners from getting driver's licenses. It's called a non-domiciled CDL. Every state said they're complying, including California, John. Gavin Newsom said, I'm going to comply with the rule. But we saw with this crash, which you just showed, was the fact that Gavin Newsom didn't comply because he allowed a week ago this driver's license to be upgraded to a non-restricted driver's license. Had Gavin followed our rules per DOT, this guy would have never been on the road. 3 more people would be alive. So we're doing this because we're seeing a lot of foreigners, those who can't speak English, on our roadways, and it's harming the American citizens who want to be safe as they're bringing their kids to school, they're going out for groceries, or they're going to work. And so what we've done to start, we pulled $40 million, John, from California on one issue. But they're at the cusp of losing another $160 million. I don't want to take their money, but we will hold their money back if they don't comply with these really important rules. So Gavin Newsom has to get on board, stop lying, and follow DOT rules.
Yet here is the governor's response to all of this. He said, quote, "This is tragic, and as with every tragedy over the last 10 months, Secretary Newsom has ordered Secretary Duffy to look for every opportunity to manipulate the facts to score cheap political points. But the facts remain. The state does not determine commercial driver's license eligibility. The federal government approved and renewed this individual's federal employment authorization multiple times, which allowed him to obtain a commercial driver's license in accordance with federal law." He's passing the buck back to you. What do you say?
Yeah, so it's nice to see Gavin tap dance in a tweet. Good for him. But the truth is, we do set the guidelines by which licenses can be issued. We sent that guidance out. Gavin Newsom said, I'm not going to follow it. I'm going to allow this foreigner to get an upgraded license that was Gavin Newsom's choice. The states issue commercial driver's licenses. We give the guidance, they issue them. I gave the guidance, Gavin Newsom didn't follow it, and 3 people are now dead because he refused to follow the rules that come from DOT. So again, nice effort to try to pass the buck. But again, this is really simple stuff. Keep your citizens safe. Keep foreigners off the roads, especially those who aren't trained. Stop giving licenses illegally to people who are not in the country lawfully. Very simple stuff, John.
Right. We should also point out, too, that the employment authorization was given to Singh under the Biden administration as well. There's another tragic crash, this one in Florida that we covered as well. Harjinder Singh is the one allegedly behind the wheel here. We have discovered the following, and this is pretty shocking. Singh failed his CDL knowledge exam in Washington state 10 times over the course of 2 months, failed his air brakes knowledge exam 2 times. But Washington still issued his first CDL, and California issued him another CDL. People at home might think, how in the world does that happen?
Yeah, so I think this was some great reporting from Bill Maluzhin. I don't know that the exact numbers are right, but he is right to say that multiple failures, and still this driver got his license before killing 3 people in Florida. And the truth is, I think we have a lot of fraud and abuse in the commercial driver license issuing space. Companies that are here testing drivers. Again, the driver that we're mentioning in Florida, he didn't speak English. 3 or 4 road signs he couldn't read, and a clear violation of the rule. So the question becomes, if you can't understand English, you can't understand road signs, how in the heck can you ever pass a test to be issued a commercial driver's license? You can't do it but for fraud. And so that is another investigation that we have undertaken to find out who are the good companies, who are the fraudulent bad companies, and we have to root them out. Again, you should expect to be safe when you're on the road. And by the way, John, it's these very foreign drivers with these kind of licenses that don't just drive the big rig or the tanker. They're also driving school buses, getting behind the wheel, taking kids to and from school, and there's no certainty that they actually have the skills to drive those vehicles. They understand the English language to stay safe when they're on the roadway. So a whole bunch of issues at play. And again, this comes under the backdrop of Joe Biden and Democrats letting 10 to 15 million illegals in the country. And now Gavin Newsom and others are bending over themselves to allow them to get commercial driver's licenses. And again, Trump administration, Donald Trump has said, we put America first. We are going to stop this charade. No more licenses until we can figure out how many problems we have in the system. And so Gavin didn't follow it. We put the rule out, and now we're going to take his money. We have other steps after money that we can take with California, but I want them to comply, John.
Another big issue I'd like to take up with you briefly, Mr. Secretary, and that is the looming massive travel season and what's going to happen at airports. You were at the Philadelphia airport earlier today because coming up on Tuesday, air traffic controllers and others will not get their first full paycheck. Axios talked to one air traffic controller in anonymity who said, quote, eventually people are going to have to make human decisions. The second one, missed paycheck, will likely be where people can't last any longer without money coming in. So the suggestion there is that they may not show up in the control centers and the towers. There are already ground delays and ground stops at some airports across the country. If the government doesn't reopen and these air traffic controllers and others don't get paid, what's going to happen as we head into the Thanksgiving and Christmas travel season?
Yeah, so first off, yesterday the air traffic controllers got a pay stub email to show what their future check is going to be that's supposed to come on next Tuesday, and it showed a big fat zero. They're not going to get paid anything from the federal government for the work that they have provided. Now, they've done a great job. They've been coming to work. We've had minimal disruption throughout the airspace. There has been some areas where we've had more people calling in sick. But I think as we get closer to Tuesday and then after, I think you're going to see far more disruption. It's my job to make sure the airspace is safe. And so if we don't have enough controllers, we slow down traffic, which means you'll see more delays, you'll see more cancellations. But safety is a top priority. It's really simple, John. Open up the government. Pay these controllers and then sit down and negotiate. But no one can be held hostage by Democrats. And the air traffic controllers will not be held hostage either. They're looking at getting second jobs. They're looking at driving for Uber, DoorDash. They have gas payments put in their car. They're paying for childcare, mortgages. They're like every single American who may live paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford this. They actually have the airlines, John, that are sending food in to the towers and the centers to say, thank you for showing up, and I'll take a little bit off your back. I'm gonna provide you a lunch or breakfast or a dinner. We're going to help you out. But it shouldn't be that way. They should get their paychecks. And it's Democrats. If you're delayed this weekend, it's Democrats' fault that they won't open the government and they have air traffic controllers who are wildly frustrated that the Democrats care more about illegal health care than they do about these great patriots who work in our towers.
Well, there's nothing that looks like a light at the end of the tunnel at this point. Mr. Secretary, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your time, sir.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.